And we're live.
Yeah, there's a lot of aggressive football and hockey.
And sometimes it's the result of that can sometimes be incredible, right? You don't think Archie Manning was drilling Peyton and Eli from an early age? Who knows what happened to that third brother? What's he, a fucking real estate agent or something? I think it was actually an injury. I think he actually got like blew out a knee or something like early.
Was he the eldest? The first
I don't recall the specifics.
Work.
I just looked into it like 10 years ago because I was like, wait, you got, I think Peyton's got 2 Super Bowls and Eli's got 2 Super Bowls. Could be wrong about that. I know Eli's got like 2 MVPs and like definitely 2 Super Bowls. Anyway, and then there's that, and then their dad, NFL star, or at least NFL QB. And then there's the third brother,
Cooper, the TV show.
And then you look
host.
at like the Williams sisters, right? With their dad. You don't think he was overbearing? You don't think he yelled? You don't think Tiger Woods' dad ever yelled at him? Like
they all did a lot, probably, and that's why they're so good.
They all did a lot, and they're fucking champions. So we talked a lot in the Discord about whether Tom Brady was the greatest athlete of all time, and maybe someone used the word athlete, and somebody else is like not a grammar Nazi, but like if they see a flaw in your argument, they're like, oh, he is not the greatest athlete. Here are 1,000 other, and it's like
someone was being pedantic. Yeah,
someone was being pedantic, and it's like, all right, look, I get it, not the greatest athlete of all time, but perhaps the most successful person in athletics of our generation. And they're like, well, Michael Phelps did this.
Who are the better athletes? Explain that for me for 2 seconds.
Oh, well, I mean, Michael Phelps is an infinitely better physical specimen and better at athletics in general, than Tom Brady.
On what, like some sort of like comparison of like their muscle mass or something?
So
like
the
Olympic,
based on their
the Olympic decathlete winner is often considered the best athlete. This guy runs, this guy throws, this guy does heavy shit, and so
sure, yeah, someone who does all the things that we consider to be athletic, not necessarily the best at their position ever, but oh my God, he benches 550 pounds. He runs the 40 faster than everyone. He's got a vertical leap of 3 fucking feet. Oh, and by the way, okay,
so like the best physical specimen kind of.
Yeah, he would be like the best pure athlete. You would have to like, if we're gonna get like drilled down, I guess he'd be the best or one of the best members of a team athlete, a team member athlete. Like he and Gretzky are similar. And I mean, obviously Tom Brady's a more impressive physical specimen than Gretzky. Gretzky was an even further example of this. Like Gretzky never had the hardest shot, never the fastest, but he, like Brady, knew what his opponents were going to do in anticipation of what they thought he was about to do before they knew what was happening. And so he could know the exact flow of the play, the exact way that Tom Brady in like the 0.0001 seconds knows. I can see the future for a second. I know what's going to happen. I should throw it there, even if that wouldn't be apparent to the average QB. Like they're both they have they call it hockey IQ in hockey. So I'm sure it's football IQ in football. Like
George
they have
St. Pierre
of the game.
Is an
There's
MMA
even a test
fighter,
for it.
And he was talking about what steroids can do for you. And he's like, it's not just how strong you are or even how fast you are. There's like a cognitive improvement that they can do. He's like, and that's what it is. That's what being an athlete is. Like if you can process this stuff, or the difference between top athletes isn't usually bicep curls or something. There's something like that Gretzky or Brady seems to have in processing what's going down, and that matters a lot in a sport like fighting.
There's an X factor there.
Yeah.
I think a lot of it's work ethic from what I've heard and what I've read is they talk about him being, in the practice room or whatever at like 5 a.m., like running over schemes and just really studying the game and like smartening up everyone around him. And because he's got all those rings already, especially like in this current scenario with Tampa Bay, if he says, look, we got to be here. You got to be here at 6 a.m. We got to hit these X's and O's. Like we're going to win the game on this fucking marker board long before we step out there and put pads on. I think when he says it, rather than some old white guy who like maybe has never won a championship at any level, never coached to a championship even, like you as like a young 24-year-old multimillionaire athlete, you might be like, yeah, okay, I'm gonna hit my bonuses this year. I'm gonna rush for 1,000 yards. Like
always
that's
crazy
what
to
I'm
imagine
concerned
that.
with.
Like how
I'm gonna
young
get
these
mine.
people are with that
But-
amount of success. Like,
But
who
when
the fuck
Tom
did they
Brady
listen
says it,
to?
it's like, yeah, all right, I'll be there at 7, boss. Yeah,
Yeah.
like you're
There's,
gonna lead me to a ring like you did everyone else you've ever played with.
Do you know who Pat McAfee is?
No.
He was a kicker for the Indianapolis Colts, and he has a podcast now. Is very successful post football. Anyway, he was talking about the leaders on the team, and he's like, Peyton Manning led the team, and it was amazing because he was very successful and he had great leadership qualities. It's like, but sometimes you get one or the other. Sometimes you get a guy who's very good at his position but can't lead for shit. And there were times, I think, post Manning, where the leaders of the team were on the twilight side of their career, and their words just didn't have the same gravitas. They're some linebacker who's everything they're saying is right and smart, but you're 13 years into your career, you're washed, and no one gives a fuck what you say. So Brady's got both.
Who do you think?
Although,
Like
at some level, he shouldn't, right? Like he keeps performing, which is crazy, but he is at some level like on the twilight of his career, age-wise, right?
He's got to be age-wise. How much longer can he possibly play in the NFL?
I don't know.
So
He's
it's
fucking
weird.
doing
He
it
keeps
until he
getting
stops.
younger.
We don't know.
So it's weird,
He
right?
was tremendous.
Like first of all, he looks tremendous.
He's amazing. He's amazing.
Where
guy.
I see him like slowing down is literally in his foot speed. Like he's never
I
been a
don't see
very
him
mobile
running as
quarterback,
much, right?
but he's just, it looks like he's gonna have to stay in that pocket, and like every year he's definitely losing a literal step. But like we talked about on PKN this week, he broke records in this last Super Bowl.
Well, some of these records
and he
are
was
like
holding some of them.
because he's so fucking old playing this, right? Like, aren't some of these
No.
like,
I'm
total
not
records?
talking about all-time records. I'm talking about records like consecutive completed passes.
I
Like
see.
like records that you got to do tonight.
And he's beating himself.
He's
Yeah.
beating himself, like
I do that.
so
It's like Wayne Gretzky.
do you guys see that?
The fastest player to get 1,000 points was Wayne Gretzky from 0 to 1,000 points. You know who the second fastest player was?
Wayne Gretzky
Wayne
again.
Gretzky from 1,001 to 2,000
Wow.
by a tremendous amount. It's not
That's
looking at it.
interesting.
No one can touch his records. It's absurd.
Yeah.
Like
the
someone-
game will have to change.
Oh,
What was this?
So who
this
do you
is
think the
something
greatest-
very, very
when they
briefly. I
go
want to bring
to
this up here
2
because this is a
goals?
good spot for like. Sorry, go ahead, buddy.
I was saying they'll have to change the game for Gretzky's record. When they put 2 goals out there and the goalie has to guard them both.
Yeah.
Even then,
Scoring-
that's it.
Scoring will be revolutionary. Just shoot the one where there's no goalie, Taylor.
They like change they'll have to change the puck or something.
He should have gone for the 3-point goal.
What was
They
the,
would
what's
literally
the
have to make the
controversy
goal
currently?
bigger.
Like someone was throwing like the trophy across a boat or something. Did you
I
guys see
saw
this
it. They were
shit?
heaving it back and forth. So like for those
I
who
didn't
don't
see
know,
this,
like
so I don't know nothing about it, but it sounds insane. Like,
Yeah, so
we're
the
talking like
Buccaneers-
the world's best super back, some fucking, oh my god, it's super back. Wow,
it's a
wow.
super back gorilla.
Anyways, you know what I mean? Like the world's best fucking thrower of a football ever, with one of the catchers who he won this with repeatedly, and they're worried about him tossing a trophy across water. That seems
Yeah.
insane to me.
He was
Am I
super
wrong?
drunk,
Like,
right?
did I
They're
miss
not gonna
something here?
No, I thought it was really funny, and like the boat. So those who don't know, the Buccaneers had their like celebration party in Tampa Bay, in the Bay,
Yeah.
in their boats. Tom Brady rolls up in like a $3 million like James Bond yacht. It's like dark gray, and he's got his boys all on it, and there's a few lesser boats all around them. The whole team's everybody's on a boat, right? And they're heaving the trophy, the Super
Heisman,
Bowl
right?
trophy, from one boat to the other. And don't think 3 feet. Like they're throwing this thing like 20 feet or something like that. Like they're having to heave it. Like and these are professional athletes.
It's the
heaving-
Lombardi
tro-
trophy, I think.
It's
That's what I
it
read.
looks heavy. It-
Lombardi, okay.
It looks like it's not made out of aluminum or something. Like it looks like it's heavy, and they're heaving it back and forth. And I was just like, that's awesome. Because
Yeah,
A,
right?
I don't think they're going to drop it, and B, I bet if they did, one of these super athletes could dive to the bottom of the bay and bring it back
it's
up.
fucking Tom Brady. You know how much disposable money he has? If he really feels like he has to like get that out of there, I think we can manage it.
Yeah,
Is it really disrespectful
we'll get it back.
that the
Oh,
man
100% we're
who
getting
celebrated
it
for
back.
throwing a ball to another person is throwing a trophy to another
It
person?
Yeah.
depends.
Are we really
I
gonna
don't
get
know the
upset about
Lombardi
this?
Trophy history. If it were the Stanley Cup, and I think Taylor would agree, That's like not okay, right? This thing isn't just
Oh,
you.
come on. They drink beer out of that fucking thing.
Here's the thing. The Stanley Cup has all the players' names on it. And it goes back like 60 years.
So
like you're
what?
not just fucking with your trophy. You're fucking with the hockey's trophy.
It does get damaged often.
It does, which is fun and awesome, but it doesn't get lost.
Yeah, it never get. There was a time where they lost it. Like one team was like, "Hey, I'm sorry."
My parents are down in. Okay, I don't know about Tampa. My parents are in St. Petersburg, which is across the fucking bay from Tampa. It's about 2 foot deep.
I got
for
a
the
friend down there
entire
right now.
bay. My dad's
is
got
it?
fucking 2 sailboats that I go out there with. You can't find, like, you have to work to find 20 foot of fucking water out there if you really want to work at that. You got to get into the channel for that.
That's how the
changes
St.
things.
Peter's
So
is.
you know what the downside of dropping the trophy is?
You get wet.
You got to step into the water and pull it out.
Yeah. It
No, I
wouldn't
mean,
be
I
that
don't know.
big a
Like,
deal.
this is
changes
a large
everything
yacht.
for
Maybe
me.
that's separate, you know. But like, fuck, are we really?
That's how
upset
it was
about
where I
this?
had my boat, like in Jacksonville, I guess it is. What is that? Is that the St. Peter's River or something like that goes through there? It's
Can't help
something
you.
like that. All I know is like my boat had this, like, I don't know what you call it when the boat like goes a long way into the water. I don't know the boat term for it. Like the bottom of the
It's
boat
called
is
sinking.
like
Yep.
it goes
Keel?
deep.
What
don't
do you
know.
mean the keel? He just described the position of the hull relative to the water, and you said the keel.
I don't know. I don't know the phraseology. But so it
Wait,
was a
what did I
racing
get
yacht.
wrong? You don't think it's
Well, what do you
I don't
mean,
know
what
that you
get
did get wrong. I have no idea. It's
He was-
irrelevant. in any
I think he
case.
was asking what the very lowest part of a sailboat is, right?
I'm talking about the very lowest part, the part that goes the deepest in the water.
Oh, then in which case I'm actually entirely wrong. My apologies, Woody. I
But the
thought you
bottom-
literally said
bottom-
something different.
said it like I was the
keel.
dumbest
The keel is
person.
right. That's
So
right. I thought he
it's called
said
the
something
foot.
entirely different. Anyways, all right.
No,
I was
I
just
just
speaking to the
checked.
point
Sorry,
of like
Woody,
really
sorry.
shallow water there, because like the bottom of this boat is a racing yacht, so it's meant to be like laid over really far to the side, and to like keep from flipping over and like capsizing. It has like this tail that goes down from the bottom of the hull. It's not like it's
called a
not like
keel.
shaped like this, like a smooth like a rowboat or something. It's like really long that protrudes
Like a
down.
like a dick that's hanging out of the boat.
Like a
It's
dick that's
keel.
hanging
Yeah.
down, and
Yeah.
it was super hard to like park that boat in the dock, because it would start, you could feel it start digging into the mud down there, and it's like oh god, we're touching the bottom right now with this boat.
Did you
Like,
keep it in the
'cause
water all the time? Was it?
I kept it in the water all the time. Yeah, I kept it
So
in
they,
a slip.
they make a new Lombardi trophy every year.
Yeah,
So
that
it's
makes
like a
it.
different
It's
one's
not.
awarded every year. So it's really not a big deal. Like, who cares? Let them
Yeah.
do what they want. If he lost it, it'd be easier to just have him make a new one than send somebody to get it. If it was
Or
any
he
deeper.
could just,
Eat.
be like, hey, it's my responsibility.
Or just
I
bring
threw
back
it.
one of his others.
I'll go get it.
Everyone, $1 million. Whoever gets this trophy.
Sure.
Like, oh, everybody just mass casualties in the
Gronk, what are you
Tampa Bay
doing? You can't swim.
Did he have a good year, Gronk? Does anyone know? Does anyone
I
follow
know.
football well enough?
I know
feel
that
like
he
I ought
broke. I know he broke another record with Brady with like receptions in Super Bowls. Like they have the record now,
Okay.
touchdown receptions in Super Bowls. What the most endearing thing about their whole celebration was their coach. I want to say their coach is the oldest coach in the NFL, late 60s, early 70s, or something like that. And his speech while holding a Bud Light was so endearing. I was watching it, but I couldn't hear it. I was seeing the text, and it was something like, "Everybody said we couldn't fucking do it, but here we are. We beat every fucking team they put across from us. God damn it! You put them across the field from us. What did we do? What did we do?" And like somebody, so they're pouring coolers of water on him, and he's not even. He's all soggy, and he's old, and he's drinking his Bud Light. And it was just this drunken rant about being a fucking champion and a winner. It was great. It was really
Yeah.
endearing.
They didn't
Good for him.
start.
My mother
super
makes a
hot.
joke,
Were they 2-2, maybe?
They weren't.
I
Great.
don't think they
didn't start
started
off
super
great.
hot. I remember listening. I listened to a decent amount of sports radio, and I remember this has probably been the beginning of the year. Like the guys that I listened to being really down on them and kind of feeling bad for Brady.
My brother. So I grew up in the Northeast. So I grew up in Maine, and my brother is a huge football fan, a huge Tom Brady fan, right? Like he's been a Patriots fan forever. And the joke in my family currently, because my parents retired to St. Petersburg, Florida, is that my mother convinced Tom Brady to move to Tampa to lure my brother into moving to that area. That's the current joke in my family.
Did it work?
So like, did it work? Not yet, but he was quite invested in that Super Bowl, and that turned out extremely well from that
Financially
perspective.
or emotionally?
Well, he is gambling on this shit, so I guess it's both.
A little bit of both,
quite honestly. But like, I mean, on some level, like he's so fucking, like if you're an expert on something, you ought to be paid for that shit. And he's a fucking expert on football. That boy spends a lot of time thinking about that and gambling on that and working with that. And I don't know, like it's kind of incredible. It's a kind of a big Brady moment to go to another team after this, what is it, 20 years in the Patriots, to come down there and to take a Super Bowl out of that. It's fucking wild. That man is so fucking good at that game. It's incredible.
It is. I remember, like, and I don't even follow football really, but I follow sports as a whole enough to remember all the comments when he left being like, all right, well, I think that what we're going to see here is going to reveal that Brady's been benefiting from the Belichick system for the past 2 decades. Right? And it's going to reveal him that, when he's no longer protected in the pocket, he's going to get blah, 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 blah. And it's like, it's almost like he heard that and it was like that moment where Obama's like,
and he's too old for the game.
I actually will be a president. And it was like, nope, I'll be a president someday. The same day, like Tom Brady was like, yeah, you know what, ESPN? Fuck all of you. I'm going to win with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
I'm going to take my
put me on fucking Jacksonville.
Super Bowl?
No, don't put me on Jacksonville.
Go to Tampa.
Didn't Tampa Bay beat Green Bay in Green Bay? That's hard to do, right?
It must be. I know Green Bay are known for being like the most fanatic. Like,
am I right about that?
Yeah, it's usually a little different with the fans, though, right?
Yeah, it doesn't sound like any of us are particularly strong football fans.
The Colts, no fun.
Yeah, I don't know what the weather was like, but
this is the first time I can ever remember a team having home advantage in a Super Bowl.
That's the first time
ever, right?
Yeah, it's never happened.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah, like I remember, what year was it in Atlanta? One year the Super Bowl was going to be in Atlanta, and I remember being like, "Oh my God, they could do it. We could have home field advantage." I'm like, do I need to buy tickets now? Can we buy tickets now in case they get it? Or because like, if we wait and it's the Falcons, they're going to be impossible to get. Like, how does this work? How do you? It's been years and years ago. I don't even remember the teams involved. It may have been during the Mike Vick years where it was like, we could do it. We could do it. This could be the year. Vick was so fun to watch.
I take special pride that my Tom Brady versus some guy who'll probably be nervous in the big lights football analysis was on the money.
Was it when the Rams won in 2000? Looks like that's the last time. It was
God,
Atlanta.
If it was, then I remember us losing to the Rams.
No, this is the last time it was in Atlanta.
Oh, okay. I just remember, but see, that makes sense to me because I believe I remember Vic being in a playoff game and losing to the Rams and it being like a real heartbreaker. But it's been,
they beat the Titans that year.
It probably would have been 2002, 2003.
Yeah, this is 2000.
Okay. Yeah. Forever ago. Yeah.
Vic
was so fun to watch.
Brady's career.
Madden 2004, it was like, oh my God, just play Vic, just run the ball.
No, there were rules. You couldn't play with Michael Vick.
Yeah, I didn't play by those rules. I had my, you plugged a phone cord into the back of a PlayStation 2 to play online. And I was always Michael Vick, and I always ran the ball. And everyone
because his stats would let you just outrun people. Like,
well, because his real world stats would just let him outrun people.
But in the game, all you had to do is, and what are they doing? He's going to run a sweep again, and he's gone. Like,
let me see what the fastest 40 time ever and Michael Vick's 40 time ever 40 time was, because I want to say he's like a couple tenths of a second off.
I'm not convinced we're gonna see football survive as a sport. Like,
really,
it's undeniably the most popular fucking sport in America, but I think on some level you're ethically opposed to it. Can we play this game without brain damage?
Who cares?
It doesn't seem
on some
like
level,
it.
who cares? But on another level, can we and are we going to allow this?
I'm with Philby.
Like,
Let's transition to MMA.
Okay, Michael Vick's 40
no brain
time.
Damage there, right?
Michael Vick's 40 time is 4.33 seconds.
I could do
absurd. The fastest ever is 4.24.
Who did that?
Well, 9.
Chris Johnson, running back, 2008. I'm looking for anybody who, like, I'm not a football fan, so I don't recognize any of the other names. A 4.27 got ran this year by Henry Ruggs III, who's a wide receiver.
That's about the time it takes me to recognize my wife in the morning.
Exact. Yeah.
4.27 seconds.
I
People are
like
running
now in a lot of
distances during
sports.
this.
I like now in a lot of sports, they're able to tell you how many miles per hour a player's running. That's a really cool stat.
Yeah.
Like when guys are like,
What are we hearing?
really
Give me a ballpark. What are people running?
like 21, 22 miles per hour.